I want to thank Deputy Duncan Smith for allowing me to raise this very important issue. As we hurtle towards Christmas, I think 5 times this year I have asked the Minister for Transport if and when he will sign the statutory instrument that will allow for an improved pension for CIE workers. And I'll just remind everybody, currently a CIE worker takes home a pension of €130 a week. If the Minister would sign the statutory instrument, it would raise that pension to €160. It may not seem much to a Minister or a TD, but it means a huge amount to those workers who spend a life driving buses, trains, etc. Can the Minister please address this?
Thank you, Deputy. I'm taking this in on behalf of Minister Ryan. I'd just like to thank you for your question and the opportunity to update you all on the status of my department's work on the CIE regular wages scheme. As many of you are aware, the CIE group has 2 pension schemes, namely the regular wages scheme and the 1951 superannuation scheme, and issues in relation to the schemes are primarily a matter for the trustees of the schemes, the CIE group and their employees. The CIE group is actively engaged in introducing changes to both schemes aimed at rectifying the significant deficit in order to meet the statutory minimum funding standard required by the Pensions Authority. A ballot of RWS members on a Workplace Relations Commission proposal took place in June 2020 and was carried by 83% of those that voted. The proposed changes were agreed by the trustees of the scheme and the employees and the CIE group following extensive and prolonged engagement between all parties. Following this process, CIE prepared and submitted draft statutory instruments to my department to give effect to the proposed amendments to establish a new defined contribution scheme and to consolidate the existing SIs comprising the main scheme. These changes involve significant amendments which are necessary to address the minimum funding standard requirements. There are a number of steps involved before a statutory instrument can be made, including the statutory consultation process. Further, under the Transport Act, Minister Ryan must consult with the Minister for Public Expenditure and Reform in relation to any amendments to CIE pension schemes. I can advise that this consultation is underway and I expect that the details will be settled shortly. Once the final details have been settled, we will direct CIE to publish the amending schedule schemes in Irish Ufagul for a consultation period of not less than 28 days as required under the Transport Act. The Minister must then consider any objections or representations which have been made during this period prior to confirming a scheme or any amendments to such schemes. I'm not in a position to comment on proposed aspects of the scheme prior to the approval of both ministers and subsequent publication as part of the statutory consultation process, but I'd like to take this opportunity to again reassure the Deputy that officials in my department, in conjunction with the advisers from New Era, have been working on the draft SIs as expeditiously as possible. In this context, we hope to be in a position to confirm the schemes in early 2022.
I was told it would be confirmed in September. 5 times this year I've asked about it. It's €30 a week to a CIE worker. It's not a patch on the pension you or other ministers will get. This is not good enough. We are treating workers with disdain and disgust. That SI should have been signed off earlier this year, and it needs to be done ASAP.